Nicola, thank you so much for joining me in my interview series of ordinary, but we're all extraordinary women who have changed their life in midlife and have a business. So before we start, I would just like to introduce myself. My name is Moira Doherty. I am the midlife business guru to women who want to start and grow a business in midlife. And are thinking, have they left it too old? Are they too old? Have they got to learn too many new skills? And my response to that is no, we can do, be, and achieve anything we want, and midlife is the best time to do it. And I am living proof of that, and so are my clients. So, Nicola, tell us a little bit about you on this very, very autumny day.
Yes, morning, Moira. So I'm Nicola Mercer, and I recently launched my own business called Life Now Coaching. Well, it's scary to say midlife, but yeah, I would say I'm probably midlife. I'm 45, and I went through a really big life change this year, and one that made me have to really reset and rethink where I was in my life and what I wanted to get from life and from my career moving forward. So I'll share the story and, talk through how I came to set up Life Now Coaching, and then, we can chat about what I do and how I work with women as well. So I'd worked at Nike for over 20 years, wow. So a long corporate career. And I absolutely loved it. I worked in sales, and I'd looked after lots of different retail accounts like Harrods and Next, and most recently I was on Very. And we went through a really big global reorganisation that resulted in lots and lots of change. And when I first kind of became aware that my job would be impacted and might result in redundancy, the first thought that I had about possibly having to leave was, what would I do at my age? And that was so prominent because I was just coming up to 45 at the start of the year. And Nike had a lot of younger people working there and coming through. We had a good mix of ages, but you saw these really young kids coming through who were super confident and really capable and knowledgeable. And, I was very nervous about having to go back out into the job market at 45 to look for a job and find something that could equal as well what I was doing at Nike, because obviously working for such a big global brand, it was really exciting and interesting. So that was something that I was really nervous about and was there, and I spoke to some people at work about it as well, because that was the major thought I had about age. And then as kind of the weeks went on, because it all happened really quickly, and it became apparent that I would be made redundant, and that I would be leaving, I had absolutely no idea what to do. And I was actually still really scared about having to put myself back out into the job market and find something. And obviously being in the midst of the COVID pandemic meant that, it was possibly a really tough time as well for lots of other reasons. So I kind of went through lots of different emotions and feelings and spent time talking to people more than anything to try and work out what to do, because I was really stuck and I didn't have a grand plan. But I started to somehow get little bites of confidence or bites of ideas without knowing where it was going to lead to. And I thought really hard and lots of things which I can come on to, but I will be sharing more through the business I'm running now. Lots of things had happened to me over the years with my confidence and self-esteem and I guess just health and success and things. And so gradually I started to think that I need to do something for me, because like we've just said, I'm probably past midlife even, and I'm at an age where I felt like if I didn't do it now, when was I going to do it? So like I said, I didn't know what that change was going to lead to, but I just felt that now was the time to really start to just grab hold of who I was and what I wanted to get out of life. So yes,
it is scary, and I'm loving your story. I really love your story, Nicola, because there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women that see this and watch it and will be able to relate to it, who are perhaps in a corporate job, that they can feel the young people nipping at their heels. And this is a story I hear over and over and over and over again, that you get into your 40s. I actually think that executives in these big corporate companies go on a course on how to make women in midlife redundant. I think there is a course that they all go on, because it's always the midlife women that get made redundant, and there's all these young people nipping at your heels. So yeah, I'm really glad you're sharing it, because that's what it feels like, it doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I was in a fortunate position that Nike are very diverse with their staff, you know, and the culture that they had at the company. But it was me that I could see that. And I think because I saw how confident a lot of these young people were, and I didn't have that confidence. And this is something in my story as well through the years, is that I've always struggled with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. And I was at that point where I could see the change that was coming, and felt that if I stayed, there was a risk that I was going to become like archaic, you know, and that I wouldn't fit. And I couldn't see that future at Nike, but I couldn't see where I would go outside of there. And I think, like, I look upon what's happened to me really as being a blessing. And I feel like I'm not a very spiritual person or anything, but I feel like kind of things have collided to make this the right path for me, because I was the main earner in my family by quite a lot, and that was very scary to think about not having my income. It's still scary. It's the biggest challenge I've got now with what I'm doing with my own business. But I felt as though, like I said, it had to be now or never, because I almost felt like a puppet on a string. Do you know, I loved the job, and I loved the people, and I loved the company, but I knew that I wasn't there by choice. I was there because that's just how my life had played out. And I always felt a bit of a sense of being trapped. And I think a lot of women feel like, you know, when you've got children and you've got childcare costs and you've got your home and you've got, you know, you want clothes, you want to have a social life, holidays. It's you know, there's a lot of demand on women. And obviously there's a lot of women who are single parents as well. So it can be really tough to be able to be in a position to make a choice. So I feel lucky in a way that obviously I was made redundant. So, you know, I could afford to take a bit of time out and set the business up. And now I feel super inspired that I get this opportunity to start again, because as I say, I never felt as though I would ever have the choice to do anything like this before. I just felt as though I was going to have to take whatever piece of the puzzle was handed next by the employer.
It's lovely, isn't it? And it is just having that courage to actually make the, you know, to make the choice. So just a couple of extra questions to ask you. So you were made redundant and you took your redundancy, and then you started to get your ideas for your business. So what were the biggest hurdles, other than, oh my God, what am I going to do without a regular wage coming in, which we all go through? But that is something you start to get used to and get your head around, for sure. But what was one of the biggest things that you found in starting, and what's your advice to anybody who's in a similar situation to you, who's feeling, do I just have to stay here forever? Do I have to wait for, you know, am I going to be made redundant, or do I take control? So what was, first of all, one of the biggest things that you found, a hurdle you had to overcome to start your business?
I mean, there's a few. The idea, the concept itself, the first thing is, you know, well, what am I going to do? And I think the advice there that somebody gave me, which was really profound, was thinking about what you already know, because when that concept of redundancy first came, like I say, the first thought was, oh my God, I'm 45, I live in the Northeast, there's not many companies here, I can't be going out there looking for jobs again, and you know, all of those questions. And I felt as though the only option I did have was to try and do something that I was similar to what I was already doing. But by taking that step back to go, well, actually, what do I already know about? What skill set have I got? What's the knowledge and experience that I've got? And this is the most important thing, what am I passionate about? Like, what do I want to have my legacy be? Which sounds a bit deep, but, you know,
No, it doesn't.
after COVID especially, a lot of people are reflecting in lots of different ways to go, well, what's life about? What do I want to get out of it? What, you know, why are we here? What are we doing? What do I want to enjoy? What do I want to experience? And that was the biggest thing for me, was thinking, okay, I didn't have any grand business idea whatsoever. I didn't even know that I was going to end up building my own business and trying to be self-employed. But what that gave me was like tangible things that I could say, well, I'm experienced in business strategy and in process improvement, in change, in building teams, and actually I've been successful in this and this. And also I'm very passionate about sport, about movement, about why we need to exercise. I'm passionate about kids and making kids see and have access to sport, to grow up, you know, making sure that as a world we'll continue to move. And so all of those things started to come to fruition. And I think that was the biggest, probably the biggest obstacle, was what are your capabilities? Like what could you do next? You know, I was thinking about that. And
it's also important, sorry to cut across, that this is something that is something that's said to me several times a week. I don't know, I can't do anything, I'm not qualified in anything. And it that as women we think that, like you say, we have imposter syndrome. It's very, very common. But I always say, well, what have you been doing then for the last of your adult life? And they go, well, I've been mum. Well, what skills do you have for being mum? And it's just pulling that out and realizing that actually, because we do kind of think we haven't got any skills, don't we? And it takes us to actually pull them out of ourselves to say, wow, actually I have a lot of skills.
Yeah, absolutely. And just even something as simple as writing a list of what do you do, and even if you haven't been working, you are at home as a mum, you know, you could write down, like, I'm sure, organisation, budgeting, you know, caring, like developing with you. They are things, and even if you just start really basic, like you say, that adds a lot of value when you actually start realising yourself, because there's a lot you do. So yeah, I think that was the biggest obstacle, was the self-belief in the knowledge of what I actually might be able to do. And then trying to think of, well, what does that equate to, which could result in a job, in an income, you know, down the line. So yeah, so lots of thinking, lots of self-reflecting. And I wasn't someone that then had that light bulb moment of, oh, I'm going to set up a business. I started to have ideas in the run up. I only had a couple of weeks from knowing I was being made redundant to leaving. And I thought, oh, I'm going to start an Instagram page called Life After Swoosh. Swoosh being the Nike, what people call the tick, but it's a swoosh. And I got a lot of great reception. I set it up the day after I was made redundant and thought, oh, I'm going to tell my redundancy story and, you know, share all the lows and share the mindset challenges and things like that. And I'm going to write a blog, because I've always wanted to write. That's been something I wanted to do. And then literally within a few weeks, I was thinking, actually, there's not that many lows to share. I didn't really have what I thought it was going to play out, because I actually started to think, oh, I feel like there's opportunity here and there's potential and so on. And it just then evolved. I bought a holiday home, a caravan, not far from where we live, to rent out. I started doing some skincare for a British brand called Temple Spa, set my own business up for them. And then I thought, okay, but I still haven't got an income here. I still haven't got what would be a business or a job. And working at Nike, and the backstory I've got, I need to exercise. That's part of who I am. And I've, you know, there's a lot I'm going to share with that in my business. I decided to sign up to become a personal trainer. So I started studying to be a fitness instructor first, which I passed all the exams on Saturday, and then to move on to a PT, thanks. And then it took a couple of months, and I thought, I feel like I want to be a coach somehow, but how can I bring all of this together? And again, just looking back to those things I'd kind of brainstormed about, my knowledge and skills and passion, was women. I know, as you're doing, the importance of women in society, women in family, women in business, and that women need to be healthy to do all of that. More than anything, the pressures we have as women for all, I mean, God, we could write, you know, we could interview for a year talking about that, could we? But we need more than anything, because of all of that, to be really strong mentally and physically. And so from that, the Life After Swoosh account that I'd set up on Instagram evolved to be Life Now Coaching, which is a coaching business to support women to become healthier, happier and stronger. So I want to really focus on the importance of physical activity, but also a holistic wellness approach. So, you know, everything from nutrition to sleep to stress to relationships to work, everything comes from your mindset, doesn't it, as well? So I'm also undertaking some coaching training as well. And yeah, so I've set the business up, I'm doing it. That was the scariest thing, putting it out there and saying, I am a coach, this is what I do. And yeah, and just letting it evolve, letting it grow, and, you know, setting it up and running it while I'm doing lots of training. And yeah, I just massively believe in women being really healthy and the impact that can also have on children, which I mentioned earlier, you know, the importance of our kids seeing women be healthy. And when I say healthy, I don't just mean exercising, but everything like what we're doing, running a business. I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and I want her to be inspired and see that I took a real negative situation that could have really, you know, had a big effect on me in lots of ways by having to leave, you know, a really secure job, and that I can turn it hopefully into something that I can be much more passionate and purpose driven with.
It's really, really important. And I say this all the time. This isn't just about this generation of women in midlife and us. And so many women said they feel invisible, that they've got no talents, they've got this. And I hear this all the time. And my job is to say, and it's not actually, you've got loads of talent, and pull the talent out. And so that they go, God, I can start a business, I can do this. But even though young people these days, like you said, when you were at work, they've got so much confidence, they've got this, but society shows and proves that if all the time, when you get to a certain age, women become invisible and invaluable, then that the next generation follows it, and the next generation follows it, and the next generation follows it, because that's why women are still not as valued in society as men, because these habits and societal beliefs keep being reinforced and repeated. So it is important for us all to stand up for, not just for us, but for your daughters, for your granddaughters, for everything, because we are changing society. So Nicola, this has been absolutely an amazing story. I can't wait to see how this is all going to unfold, and I just know you are going to be brilliant. And your story, a huge success. Your mindset is excellent, and that's also a thing. And I just want to say to anybody that's watching this, please come and join us on the 21st of October. That is a day where you can meet with hundreds of, there's networking events, there's workshops, there's speakers, there's lots of exhibitors, there's everything where you can meet with lots and lots of other women, find whatever you feel you need to give you the confidence to change into the person you want to be. And it is, like you said, you've done lots of learning. It's all about learning, because when you learn, you grow in confidence. And that's definitely a thing.
And I think that what you're doing with this event as well, and like what we are now, you know, talking to each other like this, that's been the biggest pleasant surprise I've had since embarking on this journey, is finding how many women are out there supporting other women. I mean, it is unbelievable, you know. And until I left Nike, all I ever saw on social media really was a lot of young people, and I didn't see women running their own business, women empowering other women, you know, outside of celebrities. But since going through this journey over the last 6 months, my eyes have been really opened, and it's just amazing. There's so many groups that support you. So if you are in any doubt, if you are nervous, there's so many places that you can really get a lot of support from. And I think that that's amazing, because like you, there's a lot of women who are, you know, willing and able to support people with whatever they need to try and make that big change in their life.
and to actually ensure they can make the change they want to do. So,
Yeah.
Nicola, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. If you send me all your links, anybody want to contact you, I know that you are keen to support other women who are going to be listening to this and in a similar situation to you were, and I know you're really keen to help and support people, as am I. So thank you so much. Your story is incredible, because I love this whole being in a corporate job and feeling the younger people there and being made redundant and thinking, oh my God, am I too old now? And I know there's going to be thousands of women that will relate to this. So thank you so much for chatting with me today. And I will speak to you soon, and I will definitely see you on the 21st at the event.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's celebrating the new, I forgot to say this, it's celebrating the brand new launch of the International Midlife Women's Day, which is going to be an international event forevermore after the 21st of October, which is going to be incredible to inspire other women to take control of their life and become whatever they want to be. So thank you very much, and I will